what's up? So I'm actually gonna be baking today. I've been wanting to bake for a little bit now. Now that I have a break from school, I'm just like, let me bake something. Oh, also by the way, I just got nails. Can you see? Anyways, I'm gonna be baking some cinnamon rolls today. I've been craving them really badly. And so I'm following a recipe that I found from a YouTube channel online, and I'm gonna link that video in my description box below. So this is not my recipe, it's just one that I'm following. Basically what we have is some flour. I put some baking powder in here just to make it a little bit fluffier. Some salt, some softened sugar, some softened butter, active dry yeast, half a cup of sugar, some whole milk that I need to warm up a little bit, and then 2 eggs, and this is gonna be for the dough. So I have an apron that my mom brought me from Mexico. Ooh. She's a chef now. Okay, period. God, this is so heavy. My KitchenAid mixer. All right, so I'm gonna mix the softened butter in here. And I'm gonna crack my 2 eggs right in here. I'm gonna beat this with the whisk attachment until they are fully incorporated. Okay, so now that that's incorporated, I'm gonna add the milk slowly. So I'm gonna put this on low and just slowly incorporate the milk into it. I'm going to go ahead and add the yeast. So I'm just gonna sprinkle this right on top. And I'm just gonna let it sit there while I combine the dry ingredients so that it can bloom and activate. I have my flour over here. So I have my baking powder in here, and I'm gonna add the sugar, half a cup of sugar. Then I have the salt, just to kind of incorporate all of it together. I'm just gonna stir the yeast in here. Okay, so then I'm gonna add the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients just a little at a time. And with my spatula, just kind of gently fold everything together. It's starting to come together, and it looks like a really wet dough right now. Add the rest of it. So I did clean the surface before I started recording, so I'm actually gonna finish kneading the dough on the countertop. So I'm gonna dump this out right onto the countertop and just wanna start incorporating it all together. I have some flour on the side just in case it needs a little bit more. So on the video, she said that it wasn't so much about kneading it, it was just all the flour into it until all of it kind of looks the same. This is looking pretty good to me. Okay, so I think that looks okay. Just have some olive oil right here that I'm just gonna put a little bit around. And then with my napkin, I'm just gonna kind of spread it out so that it's coating all of the bowl so that no part of the dough sticks to it. And I'm gonna take my dough and plop it in here. So I'm just gonna cover this bowl with saran wrap and I'm gonna pop it in the oven. I'm not turning the oven on, just put the oven light on. That way you can get a little bit of heat from the light and it'll help it rise. So the yeast in it is gonna make it just get a little bit bigger, almost double in size. 1.5 cups of brown sugar, which I have right there. I have 3 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. So I'm just gonna mix that together. And so this is gonna go inside of the dough. I'm gonna roll it out when it's done. 1/3 cup of butter. So to my butter, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm probably gonna throw this back in the oven just with the sitting in the warm light, so that it can melt a little bit more. This is gonna be the frosting. Use a 1/4 cup of softened butter, and this has been sitting out so it's super soft. Throw that in there. Half of a Philadelphia cream cheese package. So, put that in there. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, and we just want to make sure that cream cheese and the butter is fully combined. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add the sugar. So that's the half, 1 cup. Mix on low or else it's gonna be a mess. Been there, done that. It goes everywhere. So I'm just gonna start this on low so that it doesn't fly around everywhere. And just slowly start combining it. Okay guys, so the dough has been in there for a little over an hour. Look how it doubled in size. That was like down to here, so now it's like up to the top. Now I'm just going to cover my surface with some flour. I always wanted a granite countertop so that I could do this. And it's just very aerated. You can see all the bubbles in it. Just plop it out. And so this, you just want to roll it out into as much of a rectangle as you can. So I like to go up and down and then to the sides. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So this is kind of starting to look like a rectangle. So to your rolled out dough, I'm going to slather the butter on it. Pick up this butter and you want to coat the entire surface of your dough. I love butter. See, I love baking, but it does create a big old mess. It's the only downfall. So now I'm gonna start sprinkling the brown sugar and cinnamon mixture. And, oh shoot. You just wanna sprinkle all over. And again, you wanna make sure all the edges are covered. So I'm pushing that sugar out to the sides. And that's just gonna melt with the butter underneath it, and it's gonna be so good. I mean, it's gonna be so good. I don't even know. I've never made this recipe before. But hopefully, I have faith. I have faith in my abilities. Plus, this is not even hard. It's just a little bit time consuming. But it's not a hard recipe at all. So that looks pretty good actually. So I think this might be the hardest part. First, you want to like start at the edge and get that first roll. So you want to pull and tuck. Do it again. Pull and tuck. Oh my gosh, it's coming together. Just like that. And make sure that the seam is facing down. Straight blade, and I'm gonna cut the edges off first. So a way to try to cut it evenly is actually to cut it down the middle first. So you cut the middle and then you can move it over here. You wanna cut the middle again. Just like that. Middle of each again, and then cut those in half. And that way they're all very uniform, or as much as they can. Spatula with the butter. And just whatever's on this, I'm gonna smear over here. I'm gonna start placing them in there, like so. Taking them and placing them in the buttered pan, just like this. So, okay, so now I'm gonna cover this back up and I'm gonna put it back into the oven just with the light on. It's not gonna be turned on, just so that it can rise for another 20 to 30 minutes. And you're gonna see that they're gonna get even puffier during that time. And then we'll bake it in the oven for about 15 minutes or so. Okay, so as you can see, when I put them in a couple minutes ago, they were kind of separated and now they're all kind of touching. They're a little bit fluffier, so I'm gonna go ahead and bake them. I wanna preheat my oven to 400 degrees. Make sure it's fully preheated before I put them in. And you're going in. 14 to 18 minutes. So I just took them out, and you just want them to be a nice golden color. They look so good. Oh my gosh. So now I'm gonna take the frosting that I made, and you wanna do this as soon as they're out so that this creaminess can just melt right on them. So you just wanna spread them around. Oh my gosh. You can already see just with the heat of the cinnamon rolls right out of the oven, it's already melting. It's nice and gooey. It's gonna melt into all the cracks and crevices. Look how freaking delicious that looks. Ah! I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. That looks amazing. You guys, this is so delicious. Look at this. Oh my god. That was so good.
No, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I'm recording.
Quick little rumble.